payments and fintech ecosystem evolving, what are some of the interesting things that you have noticed in your journey so far?
Uh, so I think the trends are changing. Obviously, the digital payments, what we had seen 3 years back or 4 years back, is completely different now. I think we required, especially companies like NPCI has to service the people like you. You launched 7 products today, right, in a year. So we'll have to see how can we present in all 7 what you're doing there, right? So that's my rule. I've taken the actions. I have to go back and figure out that we are able to service the fintechs and your thought process and how to drive innovation finally, right? And I think the payments have been changing big time. I believe some things like what China has done very, very effectively, like, use of QR code in the daily use. I think, we have to still graduate to that level. I think we are getting there. We see a healthy number on QR code based payments on UPI. But I think that's a way to look at it. Shashank showed the slide on TPS on India and China. We are a little better than what you showed, Shashank. So we'll update you in a while. But I'm just saying that China is definitely way ahead. And how can we grow to that level? I think one is the use of QR code payments. Second is simplifying, gifting. The gifting is a solid story, and that kind of drives the digital behavior. And I think we as a country has not been able to solve the gifting as a use case in a big way, be it right from 10 rupees to 1 lakh rupees in a retail ticket size. I think that has to be made very, very simpler, so people are able to use that gift digitally and then move to the digital platform. I think next few years are going to be exciting. I think we'll have to get this 150 million users to 300 million or 400 million users in the next 3 years' time. So I think we'll need to do a lot more than as what you guys showed. We'll have to, I think it's a kind of ideal roadmap for us to take it as an input.
Great, sounds good. I think one of the major success stories for NPCI has been UPI.
Yeah.
The enormous scale that UPI has seen has blown minds away, not just in India, but across the world. It is being talked about in Southeast Asia, it is being talked about in Western markets. I would like to know from you, being personally led this scale, the growth, what do you think is the major reason for adoption of UPI and the incredible growth that it has seen? And what do you think are the opportunities going forward?
See, I think, there is a huge trust in banking in India, and consumers wants to use their money in the banks digitally and very, very simply, right? A great user experience has been a biggest bottleneck on in the digital to achieve the digital payments, and I think UPI has tried to solve. I don't think we have fully solved. I think we are getting there, but I think we are, but I think we are on the right track. So solving the right consumer experience and giving him the comfort that this is the safe and secure way to use digital payments is the objective. I don't think we are there, as I said. We are getting there. That's a point.
Yeah, one thing that Shashank raised there, when is UPI getting recurring payments?
So I think RBI, in their, about 2 weeks back, it was notified that on the digital payments, there are 4 or 5 things which RBI is planning, and I was really happy to see the recurring payments there. So I think it's on the way. Yeah, it might take some time to reach, but it will come very soon.
Yeah, we all look forward to that. Changing gears, I think one of the things that NPCI does really well is not just look at the top of the pyramid, but at the bottom of the pyramid as well.
Yeah.
And the Aadhaar-based payment ecosystem that you have built, I think has made a lot of changes at the bottom, at the ground level. What do you think is the future of that going forward? What are the new things that we would expect there?
The Aadhaar-based payments has been really a great story for us when we look back about 4 years, 5 years back. And when we started this, I don't think anybody believed that Aadhaar can be used. 2 things. One is Aadhaar can be used as a financial address, and Aadhaar can be used by the poor to withdraw money from his account. Nobody believed it. But I think with the strong persistence from the government and public sector banks, we have to give a lot of credit to public sector banks, all the general managers in the financial inclusion division, and they kind of interacting on a regular review with the government DFS officials, you have seen a great growth in the financial inclusion. Obviously, there are many issues to be solved, but we see about 200 plus million transactions happening on that platform to withdraw money using Aadhaar. I think it's a great story. And, you know, Aadhaar in that way has solved that one problem which we would have taken years to solve, right? Because, you know, going with the PIN, OTP and those kind of solution to that population has its own issues, right? You know, the social issues and the literacy issues, right? So Aadhaar with biometric has solved that problem in a big way, which would have, I think it's a really great boon for India to have the system like Aadhaar to solve this typical use case.
Yeah, we have all seen, a lot of us have seen the impact of Aadhaar-based payments for DBT transfers and a lot of other things, and it has been an interesting journey. But and how does NPCI manage this thing that where you do something like ground level, something like Aadhaar, they have something for the tier 1 population, which is like UPI, it also goes down to tier 2. At the same time, interestingly, NPCI is also helping a lot of, working with a lot of countries to expand UPI even international. We recently heard stories of UPI being launched in Singapore FinTech Festival, a lot of other places. So what's your take on that? How do you manage all those three pillars of democracy together?
No, I think we are still very far from you know, launching the UPI in the international market. We have started thinking about it, and some demo transaction has been done. But I think really it will take another 6 months' time to properly launch UPI for the cross-border transactions. Obviously, international and global use case is something which keeps running in our mind. We have been thinking about it, and I think there can't be better time than now. And we have started some efforts in that direction, but it will take some time, and another 6 months, 9 months, you should see a good traction, subject to all regulatory and the government approvals on that.
Interesting. So, taking all of that, the business talks aside, the audience would really like to know your personal journey in NPCI. What motivated you to get into that, and what keeps you driving?
So it's actually next month 10 years getting over in NPCI.
Interesting.
So,
and what has happened in the last 10
No,
months?
I think the you know, one thing which what kept us growing, all of us, in fact not me only, but all the employees in NPCI, and we are fairly good vintage as far as some of the employees what we see who have joined early in NPCI, we fortunately still have with us. And what we see is the challenge is what keeps us going. Obviously, we don't have the ESOPs or those kind of things what you guys have. I was just thinking what are going to be your valuations, and but I think the challenge is something which has been driven. I think, and it's a great journey. I don't think none of us out of the teams that which joined NPCI early or there in NPCI now are regretting that there are no ESOPs or no, you know, I think we are very happy to see the impact what we are making. For a country, the domestic payment system is very, very important. Many countries you would see that have the very, very strong domestic payment systems like China, you can take example of Russia, but you know, most of the places this has happened with a pure mandate and not allowing the competition. But I think India that way has been very open and in this whole process, and you know, there has been a lot of credit to be taken by the banks, the regulator and the government to see the progress in the payment system what it has been today.
No, definitely. I think I was in US a couple of weeks back, and they're still struggling to figure out instant payments the way we do. Right now, the Fed has started working on that process.
So when we launched instant payment in 2011, early 11, we were NPCI employees used to send money to the others. You know, I think everybody told us that, you know, you launch something which is very ahead of time. But I think what we learned of that IMPS experience is, one is, you know, we need to be patient, and you know, it takes time for anything to grow. Number of times, obviously, we as a country start declaring the success very, very early. So any innovation is like, you know, we start actually seeing it rolling out on a ground and otherwise. But the second thing which we learned in IMPS is if we try to do something with the ecosystem, in today's digital world, the success chances are very, very high. So if we design the product keeping in mind the entire ecosystem, adopt them in the innovation and the implementation process, the chances of success are higher. So, when you took the IMPS example, I felt, but initial days are going to be struggling. In fact, even UPI, first 1 year, most of the people used to talk to me and tell me that UPI has failed. First 1 year when we didn't have even 1 million a month, right, in the first 8-9 months.
No, that is actually very interesting because my next question is very related to that. Like, while NPCI is a semi-government, non-profit organization, internally, and in my dealings with NPCI, I've seen they behave almost like a startup. The employees are very aggressive. They are driving a lot for hunger of growth. How do you maintain that culture?
I don't think we have a choice. I think if we don't behave like a startup, I don't think we can survive in today's world, right? And the competition is not only from the Visa, MasterCard, who are very well entrenched. Back 30 years, they are entrenched in the country. They have large resources, innovation centers worldwide. But also, we kind of compete with the people like you guys, right? Because if we don't behave like a startup, you guys will create something which will bypass NPCI in no time. So we have no choice but to behave like a startup.
For clarity, we have no intention of doing that. Before I open up the questions for audience, I have just one last thing that I would need your opinion on. There's been a lot of talks about zero MDR in the payment industry. A lot of people in the payment industry have been talking about it, confused about it. What is your view on that?
No, I've spoken about this before. We need MDR, and we need a reasonable MDR, right? We have rationalized the MDR on UPI and RuPay recently to a substantial level now, obviously in consultation with banks, because we felt that the MDR was not reviewed after 2012. So banks have collaborated, and all of us agreed that we should review this. And I think that revised MDR is applicable now. So MDR is required in some form or the other. Otherwise, the growth of the ecosystem will stop. So that is what is NPCI's view is.